So now let's go and move to more of these intrinsic values that you really not only influence, but control within how you build your business. So those two attributes, again, scalability, transferability of value. What is scalability? What makes a business scalable? Well, first and foremost, it's what we would call quality of revenue. It's how repeatable that revenue is. Do you always need new customers, or are you able to retain them and keep them for a long period of time? You'll notice on this slide, we have both reoccurring and recurring. So that's not a typo. Those are two different things. They can be confusing concepts for business owners, but they are different. Recurring is when there's a fixed contractual payment that can renew or extend, like a cell phone plan, right? You just pay the same bill every month, and you probably have a 12-month plan, okay? Reoccurring, with the O in the middle, is a little bit different. It's when customers are loyal and they need the same service repeatedly, but the cadence of that service is somewhat dynamic and not always known, right? And so again, this might be a repair and maintenance business where something breaks and you fix it and you know it's going to break, you just don't know when. It could be, again, the car industry, right? You know that your tires are going to wear out. You don't know exactly when. You know you need an oil change, but it depends how far you drove. So that's reoccurring. The other thing with quality of revenue is concentration. And this is a huge issue for investors. The biggest reason that commercial banks cite that business loans go bad, that someone's not able to repay their loan, right, on their business. Why is that? Number one, customer concentration, okay, is the number one reason that business loans go bad. And so that's why investors are very cautious around, having a customer that's, a really significant portion of revenue. And so, sometimes there are, right, where you're working with a big customer and you love that customer and you're trying to grow your other customers, but you're still really dependent on that customer. One thing is you can at least diversify the services that you're providing to that customer, right? So try to do things that are a little bit separate that would allow you to have more diversity. I'll use an example of a company that we worked with that provides janitorial services for grocery stores. And they started with just all they did was clean the store at night, okay? Then eventually they added handyman services to fix things in the building, in the store that are going wrong. Then they actually added pigeon abatement, which was, keeping pigeons outside of the rafters around the building. They added what's called day porters, which is temporary labor that comes into the store and helps unload and discard old produce and things like that. And then they added floor polishing, right? And so by adding these different services for that same customer really created a lot of stickiness. And also there were different people within that customer that made those different purchasing decisions, so that even if the customer pulled back on one of the services, those other services would still be there.